Hello, everybody. We're back. We're back. I have just blasted someone's ears with that slap. I'm so sorry if your ears are you're deaf now. We can't help you with that. But we're back. We're back. How's your New Year, Nick?
My New Year was alright.
Mm-hmm.
The New Year itself is pretty shit.
Mm.
The world, and by world I mean America, is kind of on fire.
A little bit. You know that meme where there's a dog who's just sitting in a room drinking coffee and everything around him is fire, and he's just saying, "I'm fine. This is fine." That's what that meme is,
I get
basically.
that feeling. I
Yeah.
get that.
That is basically what America is right now.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah. Damn.
You know what it kind of feels like, and I have to wonder if the rest of the world might feel like this, and maybe it's not just now,
hmm
but maybe it's been for the entire Trump presidency. Has the rest of the world felt like because America is much a power player in the world.
hmm
Has the rest of the world felt like kids at home, and then suddenly Daddy walks in drunk, and they're like, "What's gonna happen to us?" Because he's the power in the house. Is
Yeah.
that what the rest of the world has felt like?
I guess just a
Because
drunk
that's what
dad
I kind of
walking
get the
in.
sense now. Like America's the is for the president with Trump leading
hmm
is the drunk dad that is walking in the house, and no one knows what he's gonna do
hmm
or how it's gonna ruin everything. Occasionally, there's a drunken stupor where he does something decent. A lot of it's bewildering,
uh
and on occasion, it's harmful,
Pretty much, I guess.
bordering or going to deadly.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Jesus. Oh man.
So
Just
yeah.
before we get started, let's.
Yes.
I hope everyone's doing great out there. I hope everyone has their beverages in their hand. We do. We have our coffees.
We do indeed.
We made it right before we started, so it's
Nice and
nice and warm.
fresh.
Yeah, nice
Yes.
and fresh. What are we drinking, Nick?
We are drinking again Keurig coffee because we don't have time for anything else.
Yeah, I
In the busy days of us, we settle for subpar coffee.
yeah, it's fine.
It's not that bad. It's just
It's
could be
actually
better.
not your fault at all. You were like fully prepared to record, and it's actually my bad. I just didn't come prepared because I've been busy with winter courses, and so I that's an excuse right now. But it is what it is.
Yes, Devesh wonderfully making it seem like I was prepared. Wasn't even planning to have you over for hours. Bordering on forgot you were going to come today at all. The
No,
research for today, which neither one of us has done, I
yeah.
meant to do Sunday, and Sunday I meant to do it Saturday, and
hmm
Saturday I meant to do it Friday.
I mean, most of it we're going to be talking about the
I
capital
don't know what
raid.
else we would talk about.
Yeah, I
Really.
mean the main topic of today is going to be capital raid because it's just.
What else?
I mean, it's pretty important what just happened. I mean, I couldn't
Yeah.
believe that it happened.
It still doesn't feel believable.
Yeah.
It's so cartoonish. It feels like the end of a story. It also, and I know this is a weird take, considering the conservative right is always so gun heavy, I was expecting so much more violence when I heard about it. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Like, again, I don't want death, but like, the pro gun group seem to not do a lot of shooting, which
Yeah.
I guess I should be happy about,
hmm
but it does come as a surprise.
Someone did die though.
Oh no! So
Yeah.
far, there have been 5 people linked in the
hmm
to the riots that have died. One
Yeah.
of them, what's it?
Which I saw happen on TV.
Yeah,
It
one of
was
them was Capitol
gruesome.
Police.
No, I saw that lady who got shot in the neck.
I have not seen any footage of that. Yeah,
Oh, it's
yeah.
disgusting. I'll send you a Discord
But
clip. Hold
interestingly,
on.
people have made an effort to try to phrase her as a patriot, though she was, committing a crime. They all were in the act of trying to seize the Capitol building.
Yeah. I okay. Some part of me kind of feels bad for them, but then at the same time, I don't want to feel bad for them because they kind of just brought it on themselves. Why are they going attacking the Capitol? Like you're basically starting a civil war. But
I don't.
then at the same time, it feels like kind of planned because National Guard didn't really do that
Well,
much.
them being there was planned, and the National Guard aspect of them not being there, the fact that officials flat out said, we don't want to make a big deal of a response, does led me to believe that on some level someone wanted this to happen
I mean,
and allowed it.
I shit you not, but if it was Black Lives Matter riot,
Yeah,
and black people have broken into minorities had broken into the Capitol,
yeah,
they would have been shot.
yeah.
There would have been a lot more injuries and
There's
deaths.
been a lot of comparison between the assault on the Capitol building and the Black Lives Matter riots.
Mm-hmm.
Largely the difference in cops being abusive versus just standing there and taking it,
Mm-hmm.
or just backing away, peacefully escorting people out,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to how harsh they were with the Black Lives Matter protesters.
Mm-hmm.
So
It,
I think it does say a lot, which is concerning on a lot of levels.
mm-hmm.
One, the issue of systemic racism within America's police forces in total, or overall, I should say, and what that means as far as what led up to and how much of this assault was allowed.
Yeah, I just seems unbelievable that this kind of thing happened.
It does. Even some of the pictures, and it's not. I'm not trying to put up a conspiracy theory. I know it's real, but even if you look at some of the photographs that were taken,
Yeah.
they feel like something that was photoshopped. The guy with
Yeah.
the podium, the guy in Pelosi's desk.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me you couldn't at home take
It's like
a
a big
picture of
meme.
yourself and just put yourself into that photo. You
Yeah.
could.
It's
It
it's
feels so
it's basically a big meme.
weird. Like it is.
I just sent you the photo of the lady who was shot in the neck. It's nothing graphic, but
Yeah.
you can just see like
Right.
the rioters and the policemen putting support on the
Yeah.
woman's neck. But
So again, I don't have all the details, and I haven't seen much about the woman actually, as opposed to overhearing it. But the fact that she got shot in the neck doesn't make it seem like whoever was doing the shooting was. It comes off as accidental to me. Just that fact, because obviously these are well trained officers. I would imagine and or hope in the sense that in their training they know how to fire a gun properly, or it's just someone moved at the wrong time. I don't
Well,
know, but it feels like an accidental pull the trigger.
it's a little different
Possibly.
when 50 people in a small corridor like a stairway come rushing at
course,
you and you're
yeah.
scared for your
Yeah.
life. I mean,
Which to me seems understandable in that instance.
like, we should make this clear
Yeah.
that, by the way, a lot of these people are armed,
Yes.
and there has been rumors that they found explosives.
Pipe bombs, I believe.
Yeah,
The idea that they were supposed to set them off at the DNC and RNC
yeah.
as
For
distractions.
supposedly they were supposed to target the Vice President Mike Pence.
True.
I was like, holy crap.
Because something needs to be clear, and this is tends to be along the lines of the extreme right wing, is that the people who have sided with Trump, and I shouldn't say sided, that have bought into the rhetoric full on, have gotten to the point where, while screaming for democracy and representation, have ignored that, have tried to desecrate our democracy, and in some cases have called for Trump to be made king.
Yeah, which
Ironically, in one case where I found that, it was by a group called Liberty Hangout. Literally Liberty in the name, with posts saying Trump should be king. It's like, you're looking for a monarch dictator type? A group called Liberty Hangout.
that's just so ironic. That is just so
It
ironic.
truly is.
Oh man.
Just a little background for those who might not know. Liberty Hangout is a group, or has freedom of social media accounts. They are, or part of someone I know, someone who's kind of well known from that group is Kaylin Bennett, known as sometimes known as Gun Girl,
Yeah.
who likes to go to campuses with an AR-15 on her back, and then ask questions to college students in a really shocked voice, and they're like, she'll say something like, "You want to allow such and such?" And they'll just look at her like, "Sure. Is there money in the budget? Okay, it doesn't affect me."
Yeah.
Which is more or less the basis of a lot of her questions. So, but it is one of these people that has just bought in hook, line, and sinker to, I guess, what people have been calling the Trump train. So,
You know, my first thought when you said that the girl carries an AR-15 to campuses.
well, because it's legal. It's not necessarily, but
Just
yeah,
even if it's legal, my first thought went through is: do these people have common sense? What kind of example are they setting for
yeah.
younger children or
It,
whatever adults?
I agree, and I kind of want to make this to a point. So, a large part of our society at this point deals with everything, all emotions, especially trauma,
Yeah.
in the form of memes, of short videos like TikTok and stuff. And one I've seen having to do with what happened in the riot building, we're talking about like just having an AR-15 in a college, or just any weapons at all,
Yeah.
was hey Congress, you know what to do? Close off turn the lights off, barred the door,
They did do that though.
hide in the corner.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll think you aren't there and they'll move on to the next room. Sincerely, K through 12.
Yeah. What was that? Just okay. What I was shocked by is the military response on that Capitol.
Okay.
Why was that such a crappy response?
Go into detail. Explain.
Like, okay, so let me quickly just go over, have a little bit of dead air, and fix
Okay.
everything. I think I'm being too loud, but then at the same time, I don't want to be too quiet.
Of course. I think always being louder is the best.
Yeah, I
Being
think
too
your
quiet.
your mic can pick me up.
It can.
Yeah,
It can
and
indeed.
it's
Can your
whatever.
mic pick me up?
What?
Can your mic pick me up?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there we go.
Well, I think you'll overwrite, but it's fine.
Probably.
We're not going to talk about. Anyway, well,
Yes,
when I
moving
say
on.
that the response was too crappy, and I mean like way too crappy, was there were hundreds, not even maybe even thousands of people there, and
Yeah.
they deployed maybe like a couple hundreds of troops, National Guard, to
Yeah.
handle that situation.
Yeah. I
Like
also.
where we're all okay. I've read and I citations needed on this, but there's about 1,600 National Guard troops reserved specifically to protect incursions of the capital.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Where were those 1,600 troops? What were they, sitting bad, having coffee, watching news?
I know largely the Capitol Police the before Trump's speech was calling to have the National Guard there officially because they start to realize from reports numbers were going to be bigger than they have been before, and they were concerned. Top officials decided or tried to make come off as we don't want the optics of calling this, what was the wording, not issue, calling this a riot or an issue beforehand. And now we see what they got.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So now it was an ex Capitol chief now,
Yes.
police chief. Just pulled up an article from. Let me give the credit to NPR.org.
Of course.
They've read in the ex police chief, Capitol Police Chief, says that he's requested National Guard presence for over 6 times,
Yes.
and he's been denied 6 times for
Yeah.
said National Guard presence. What? I'm sorry. What? 6 times? Excuse me. What? What do you? Why? I mean, the National Guard police is there to protect the Capitol.
Yeah.
That should be like a lead, main priority.
Well, understand the National Guard is different than the Capitol Police, but the fact that they wouldn't bring them in is, I feel like, raises a lot of questions. As to because that's
Well, they cut off all the flights pending the investigation, saying if you were at the Capitol
yeah.
and you got caught, they basically took your credentials and said and your name, and now they're basically blacklisted,
You're
so
on
they
a
can't.
no fly list.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're a no-fly list. They can't leave the state from tolls, nothing.
Yeah.
And that is a good move.
Yeah.
But
That's
what
a
about the
lot of
troops?
people, considering I know the reports of a lot of them from out of state.
Mostly the South.
Of course. Yes.
And by the way, I wouldn't. I don't have no problem saying this. I think a majority of these people are conservatives.
Most likely.
Yeah.
I don't know of any people on the left that are pro Trump, and I think greatly
But
Anyone who was there, it
even
was
if
there for those reasons.
even if they are
Yeah.
pro-Trump, it's for they wouldn't act so drastically. Maybe I'm wrong,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying
I
when
think this is
when Democrats represent the left side,
right.
they're doing it in a much more civil manner than what conservatives did past couple of months, where they
Yeah.
were just like, "You want Trump to win? Well, go out to your mayors and your administration buildings
Yeah.
and knock on their doors until they change their mind." It's like, what are we living in a knock and vote system over here? You voted,
Yeah.
your the states chose their
Yeah.
votes,
Right.
recounted multiple
Yeah.
times, and you lost.
Right, and even up till now, Trump has insisted that
Yeah.
there was multiple versions of crimes and frauds and so on, to the point of what is it? Him and multiple other people from his from the campaign and such, messaging out to was it the senator, or congressman or senator of Georgia, trying to get them to overturn stuff and so on.
Pence,
It's like I just need 12,000 votes.
by the way, Pence has even said that all the fraudulent claims
Yeah.
have been confirmed false. He said that on live. Yet President Trump still keeps going.
Well, why do you think his base was looking to, well, basically hang Pence during the riot? Literal quotes.
Did you
There was
know
a
he-
noose outside.
Did you know he unfollowed Trump for a short period of time?
That doesn't surprise me.
He I think it was like around September, October. He just unfollowed Trump.
Yeah. On a side note of all of this, I'd be very curious to know the numbers of people, if because obviously the Trump, the president's Twitter has a lot of followers, as he is the president of a country. I'd be curious to know the numbers if the people who follow him solely for the fact that he is the president and shit's going down for this whole presidency, and I want to stay informed, unfollowed him. How big is his base? Because I imagine even out of the people that voted, there's got to people on the right that follow him that still didn't vote.
Yeah.
And I'm curious what those numbers are.
Yeah. I mean, it must have sucked if you were a Trump follower and you didn't vote and then realized that they lost.
Yeah,
That would have been awful.
yeah. But with Trump's loss, there's comes a lot, obviously some people at this point have, like a lot of Republicans have changed their mind. They're not going to back Trump after this.
Of course. You would have to be an idiot. AKA Ted Cruz.
Yeah, well, apparently some of them still are.
I mean, okay, first
But,
of all, Cruz is a known idiot, so let's not talk about Ted.
But
Cruz on this episode.
flat out, they've stopped supporting him. I've seen videos online of particularly TikTok, people like, I was wrong, I'm not voting for Trump, and so on. In comparison, something interesting I saw when Trump lost the election, this is right around that time, is a lot of videos of people who, like proper patriots, people that were like, I don't mean like patriots, but, people that really cared about the country, veterans. And I kept seeing a lot of the same video of people after Trump lost, took their American flag out of the garage, the attic, the shed, wherever, and put it back up. Because apparently, I didn't realize this beforehand, there was this massive sentiment of people out there who want to fly the flag, and then for the entirety of Trump's presidency, didn't feel comfortable doing so
Yeah,
for what it represented.
exactly.
And I had no idea that was a thing.
Oh, yeah, like, so...
But just video after video, people were like, one of the guys was a vet, literally was like, Alexa, play the national anthem, as he put his flag back up because he felt like he could finally respectfully fly the flag again.
Have you seen that video of this video hasn't been made too public for obvious reasons, but there was
Sure.
a video a while back. I think it was in like late December or mid December around
Yeah.
there. But there was literally a group of people in the South that had the Trump 2020, a Confederate flag, and they were playing Confederate national anthem.
This I did not hear about.
And they were basically like, how in American national anthem you put your hand to the heart or whatever.
Yeah.
They were doing equivalent for the Confederate side, and I was like, what are you doing?
All right. Now,
It should be known as a country. It should be known as, if you are supporting Confederate, you are a disgrace to America.
can we as a podcast make a statement on that,
Yeah, do it.
if I may?
Let's do it.
and I want to take this line because I found someone talked about this a while back, and I agree with the statement. To say this plainly, and I feel like we can both agree on this, the Confederacy was a terrorist organization bent on tearing this country apart
Yes.
in its early ages.
Still is. Clearly is.
That flag is a symbol of hatred. And for anyone who wants to say it is heritage, it's not a heritage to be proud of.
Yeah. By the way, their heritage consisted of slavery that's been long denounced while they were still begging for it. Like, British rule had long denounced slavery. And even Abraham Lincoln had denounced slavery after they were begging like children to have slaves. There's a reason why slaves moved from south to north, and north protected those slaves.
Yeah.
Because people realized that equality for all was a big thing. It's in the Constitution, guys.
Eventually.
Well, yeah, okay.
Right. It should. I think it can be fair to say that America as a country, to a degree, has always had good ideals or goals. And for a long time, and even still, it is struggling to meet them.
Because we have a bunch of assholes like these Confederate dicks.
Yeah. There's good ideals, and we're still taking the time. We've come a long way, and there's still so much more to go till we are in a good place.
By the way, I tell you, I still have family members who kind of want Trump to go for 2024.
Really?
And I was like, okay, I didn't want to argue because we were at a party or whatnot. But I was still like, why would you want to? What good did he bring?
Yeah.
Like, maybe he did something good for the market. Like, maybe
Yeah.
if you're a financial person, like, your stocks went up and you made a profit.
Right.
But that doesn't suit for the country when the country is collapsed into a financial black hole. Like,
Yeah. I wanted to actually get your view on something.
yeah, sure.
Because I know you immigrated to this country.
Yes.
Yes, you and your family. And I was talking to a friend recently, and we were meant to hang out. And before trying to set that up, they kept telling me that after everything that happened in the Capitol, they almost didn't want to hang out. They were just feeling really upset. And what my friend,
because you were like a citizen?
because they immigrated to this country.
Okay.
And one of the things they told me about was they were just so at a loss, angered and upset by everything that happened. Yeah. Because for them, they came to this country for a better life, to better the family. And no, seriously. And for what has happened, it's to a degree heartbreaking to see what happens, to see what is happening to a place that they thought was going to be better and safer for them. And I'm just kind of curious, have you felt any of that, or any of your family kind of shared that sentiment with you?
See, I'm a citizen now, so it's a little different.
Of course.
I've been citizen for what, like 2-3 years now, so it's a little different.
Yeah.
But I feel like if I were to represent this country, if I went international and people were to see me as American and start asking me like, how do you feel about this?
Yeah.
Then I would feel ashamed. Then I would feel some sense of embarrassment calling myself an American.
Okay.
Because, like, there's one thing that so there's a movie by Will Smith on Dr. Bennett Omalu, right? The concussion person.
Yeah.
And there was a quote from that movie that I remember so clearly. It was something I saw before I was a citizen.
Yeah.
And he pointed saying, America is right here. And like he pointed at America at high, and then he pointed at football is right here. Right? So he said the football is higher than America.
Yeah.
Right? And that kind of gave me perspective, saying that things in America are a lot more valuable to people on the outside than the actual country.
Okay.
Like, coming to this country and finding your freedom is one thing, but then finding your own success is a different situation.
Okay.
You know? So, if you're coming from a harsh country, like if you're from a really harsh country, like, I can't speak for many countries, but northern India is a pretty big one.
Yeah.
Right now, due to the terrorist rule from, there's just terrorist stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you move from, let's just say, that to America,
Yeah.
I'd be happy. No matter what is happening in the
Yeah.
country, I'd feel happy. I don't know what that person's family
Yeah.
this point of view is,
Yeah.
but from whatever country I'm from, I like. So I'm from
Yeah.
India, right? Or
I'm not
whatever.
saying it's not about not being happy to be, what people would consider a better place,
Okay.
but to come to a place and see something that you thought was good turn out this way. This new chance, this hope, and then suddenly there's this. I'm not saying it's not better, but to still run into all these problems that everything is going on.
I don't see that as a big deal because it makes me think of like it makes me think that we're kind of in a reverse Darwinian kind of age right now,
Okay.
where people are kind of moving backwards in sense that in a more political sense,
Okay.
where they're just going back to the roots they were because they're not comfortable moving forward with the truth and reality.
I'm not sure if I'd say you're going backward in politics. I think America, a lot of citizens or people in America are going through a bit of an identity crisis
Yeah.
of how to define themselves or what group to define themselves with. And I think Trump's presidency and a little bit before that, people have been turning to politics to be this is how I am defined as. So,
My whole ideology is it's very different,
yeah.
right? My thing is, if you are a country who called yourself great,
Yeah.
then it comes at a cost. Remember Great Britain back in those days? They were great because they were imperial. And what happened when everyone denounced imperialism?
Yeah.
They were no more the great country, and now they're just Britain,
Yeah.
who kind of went over all and over struggle with, their economy.
Of course.
And that's the kind of thing I have view on over America is if you have a title of the great America or make America great again or whatever, like
Yeah.
bring greatness to their name, it comes at a cost.
It
you know?
does.
And I'm not really upset about it. A lot of people like you just asked me, and like my friends I chat with online, they asked me, "Are you upset that this happened, whatnot?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "No, that is what a country is. It's dynamic. It's always moving. There's problems. There's things that is part of life. The thing
It's
that
not that it's not part of life, but I feel like it's something to be outraged about on some level.
the thing that I'm outraged about, which I was gonna get to, is every country has its problems.
Yeah.
But the thing to be outraged about is if you have a problem, you should do something about it. But when
Yeah.
a country doesn't do anything about it, then that's a problem. And that is the part that I think your friend is kind of experiencing.
Yeah.
Is that we had a problem, great. If you had a great military response at the Capitol, would have been fine.
Right.
Everyone would have been kind of taken a relief. But the fact that not a lot of people commented that it was bad, not a lot of people, spoke up about it, and like they didn't send enough military response,
Right.
says a lot about this country.
But people did speak up. We
Not as
talked.
not as much as you would think, right? When the Black Lives Matter riot happened,
Yeah.
so many people spoke up about it. There was an outcry, not just in.
But this is a different setting. When you talk about like the response to the
But
Capitol,
see, that is it's not.
no. Hold on. You talk about response to the Capitol. You're talking about a police response. That is something specific to this event. With Black Lives Matter, that comes to the death. Starting with George Floyd, before him and after him.
forget George
of No, hold on. Let me talk. Of issues leading up to multiple protests, and in some cases that turned to riots and so on, and the police response from that, and it did spark, nationwide conversations, discussions, and in some cases, for rare cases, unfortunately, legal change, or at least some review in the way we were doing things. This problem, as you're referring to it, this assault on the Capitol, is more of a symptom of what's going on in the past 4 years. And the whole idea of like a police response is not of the people to make a claim about. That is, and we talked about the former was it chief of the Capitol Police urged them to have, bring in the National Guard.
Yeah.
Higher up officials refused. This is something we're working out. The fact that this event took place at all is something people are outraged about, and they're making a point about
Okay, so
right
you
now.
mean in like that sense?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I yeah, it's crazy that people are just allowed to just go waltz up right up to the
Right. This is
Capitol
what
and
we
just
kind of talked about before we started the podcast.
yeah,
Either on some level, this was allowed to happen
yeah,
to the degree of being planned,
yeah,
or, and more terrifyingly, it is just that easy to take the Capitol.
yeah. But that's the problem, right? That's the deal with everything,
Yeah.
right? Like for many years, we didn't have a pandemic, and we eased up
Yeah.
on the whole restrictions. We were laid back about a lot of restrictions,
Yeah.
and even after Obama administration left, the Trump administration kind of
Yeah.
didn't see it coming, and they were like,
Right.
okay, we don't need the pandemic.
They flat out stripped it, pretty much.
Yeah, they outstripped, and they were like, well, it doesn't seem like it's going to happen, and
Yeah.
they laid back. And that's the beauty about this Earth is when you think it's not going to happen is that's when the disaster strikes. It's the same thing with the Capitol, right? I mean, I fully agree that the Capitol should have been more well prepared about this situation
Yeah.
because you can see it coming a mile away.
Right.
But it's more so that for the last 4 years, nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing happened.
Okay.
And then it just suddenly happened. So, when your ex-chief got denied 6
Yeah.
requests, that's based on no one's ever done anything, so it's not going to happen. No one's ever done anything, not gonna 6 different times, and then it happened.
I feel like
And then they didn't have enough firepower
Okay.
because they were super late. I mean,
I know, but here's the way you're phrasing this.
yeah.
And what you've been phrasing a lot of what you've been saying on this for this episode. Is coming from a place that seems very detached.
No, I'm
Of
saying
trying to separate yourself from it. And genuinely, again, I'm not aware, but from what's happened, it feels like there's more to this than, oh, nothing's happened, so we'll just forget about it. To the point of either, in the sense of Trump removing restrictions, as of just trying to undo stuff Obama did, or in the case of this, whether people were allowing this to happen. Or was it not actually having to do with we don't think anything's going to happen, or a concern of just optics, of how it's going to look to people.
I'm just trying to provide a perspective into like not just blaming one person, but just blaming all of America, right?
Yeah.
Like my perspective, I'm just for the sake
Yeah.
of explaining the perspective,
Okay.
is I'm just saying like maybe it's not just one person's fault. Maybe just everyone in the whole U.S. didn't expect it to happen.
Yeah.
Of course, my personal opinion on this is it's not true. Of course, come on, some people endorse this kind of behavior well more than anyone else.
Yeah.
Hashtag Trump. Are you kidding? Like, if you want my very honest opinion,
Yeah.
they just let this happen.
Yeah.
It's just that plain and simple. And by the way,
Yeah.
like, just I feel like the position of presidency was just abused this time around.
Yeah.
Because being on presidency is a very particular position. It gives you power to communicate not just to, higher
Yeah.
up people, but to the entire country. So when you start sending messages to your supporters saying, go out right to your administration or go out to your mayors
Yeah.
and your city, town centers and change their minds or change their votes. I mean, there were riots happening down south well before the Capitol one got rioted.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's been led up by many officials, not just Trump. I mean, I have personal grudge against Ted Cruz, and we'll go into that later. But
should.
Ted Cruz personally endorsed people to act against, their people's states going, Democratic winning Democratic vote
Yeah.
over Republican. They were publicly endorsed, and then when the Capitol got raided, they were like, "Oh, we don't endorse." And then you were just doing that for months
Right.
on end. You were endorsing people's violent behavior,
I think
and then
you're
once it started affecting you,
coming into
you just stopped.
Yeah, I think you're converging on one of the viewpoints I saw that I want to talk about is there is a level to which I think a lot of Republicans, government officials, looked at Trump and saw, here is this buffoon, this tool, who can rally a base. We can use him, and for the few things that we want, he'll get us that. And I think at this point, and they're like, we can handle him. We can do it. And they got the stuff they wanted, tax cuts, just either restrictions or lack of restrictions in certain places, and the ability to discriminate as far as the conservative Christian right had a lot of free reign under Trump, and I think they got what they wanted, and they've lost control, and now it's time, and now everyone's trying to back off, see who's going to be the last person holding the pot.
You know what this reminds me of?
What?
You know, there's always that innocent kid in the class you can rile up to do something crazy.
Yeah.
That's what this is like. It's just, but that innocent kid this time around is the president of America, and whoever supported him, senators, people, just riled him up to cause more chaos. Like, so when it first started out, when he was just like, when he just lost first.
Yeah.
You good? Okay. When he first lost, it was just he was just tweeting about it. He was just like, this is not acceptable. So much fraud, so much this and that. And then slowly over time, like, I think people wanted to basically revolt against the decision of the Democratic vote. And then he endorsed that. And then over time, the people who supported him endorsed that.
Yeah.
And then it was like a chain ball, It's like a snowball rolling down a hill. It just got bigger and bigger and bigger until it crashed down.
Yeah.
It's just stupid.
Yeah.
By the way, give me a second, people.
Yeah. But I see what you mean.
Okay.
So one of the things I realized about Trump.
Oh, before you continue, I just looked at the list of people who support him, the senators and whatnot.
Yeah.
There is 0.2% of people out of all the senators and like representatives to support him. 0.2%.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things that happened when they tried to.
Mike Rogers supported him, by the way.
Yeah. No, but Trump. When you talk about Trump being this kid in school or something, he reminds me of our friend Simon. Do you remember from
I got
middle school, high school?
Yeah.
And Simon was this kid who he came here. He didn't speak English well, and he was one of the types of people that when it comes to the school, he's kind of like a blank slate.
Yeah.
And he is going to pick up the beliefs, opinion, attributes of the first people or first group to give him any notice.
The most gullible person in the world, yeah.
Basically. And I feel like that's what Trump is. And that's what I'm saying is, I feel like if Democrats were like, yeah, Trump, then yeah, I think he would be just as crazy. But I think he would be saying stuff about, like pro-choice and queer. I think he would actually take leftist sides if the left had given him any interest in the beginning. He'd be the Democrats' problem, but he didn't, and I think he got more attention, or he played well to the right originally, and that's where he is. He is this blank palette, and he took to the first people that gave him attention, because we've seen it. He is a narcissist.
You got to give him some credit, though. He did run the country for 4 years, and I didn't mess it. He could have ended up the country in complete collapse, but he
did.
He didn't.
It's not like the president doesn't have a lot of guidance, though, and a lot of help.
That's where I debate you, because he does have these people.
Yes,
like
that he doesn't seem to talk too much.
Of course, it's like it's like everyone's phone broke in like a hospital, and everyone's just doing their own thing.
He has run the country for 4 years, and on a separate note to that, it's a little weird. I have an issue with that.
Yeah.
On a separate basis, entirely from everything else. We look at presidents who have had 4 years. We look at presidents who have 2 terms in 8 years, and we watch how much older they get. We in health class in middle school. After Obama got elected, our health teacher literally showed us a software program that would age Obama after the stress of being president. I take issue with Trump, of the fact that I don't think that he's done as much as he could, Because unless
clearly.
his hair has been colored, this job is not stressing him out enough, and he is not aged enough for this job.
A blind
For the
man
amount of stress that this job gives.
a blind man can tell you that he hasn't done enough for this country.
And that is my meter. Look at any other president, how much they've aged in 4 years only. Trump hasn't aged. He doesn't look any older or stressed.
Maybe he's just Benjamin Buttoning.
Unless he is like going to every person for like hair, I don't know, plastic surgery, shit like that. He does not look any different.
You know how he likes
Just more orange, maybe.
you know how he likes to play golf?
Yes.
You know what happened recently? So the organization that organizes golf and whatever, like
Yeah.
the main
Yeah.
main golf.
Whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah. They banned everything Trump related. He cannot do official golf tournaments anymore. Yeah.
That is priceless.
By the way, if this had happened, it was bloody disgraceful. But he had a 2022 event where he had a strip tournament for on golf.
Wait. Say that again?
A strip tournament.
For golf.
Yeah, on a golf course.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, I get you.
yeah, nakedness
Huh.
on a golf course.
Never thought about that for golf.
But imagine that if he had done that while he was the president.
I know.
You know?
Imagine playing that during a slight breeze.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. My general overview over this is everyone who raided the Capitol is they're just a bunch of terrorists at this point.
Yeah.
They're just a bunch of terrorists.
But we got to talk about what's happened over the past 4 years. What's happened before Trump? What happened that got Trump elected? That this sentiment, that this need to like attack the Capitol.
Okay. What happened?
The mentality of the rioters.
Oh.
All this stuff that's happened.
Oh God! Don't ask me that.
And it just makes me wonder.
Oh shoot! I gotta give this a thought, man. I haven't thought about this.
One other thing, because we kind of talked about how we think like the Republicans have lost control about Trump. Mm-hmm. It reminds me of a quote that doesn't entirely fit to it, but it kind of does.
Okay.
And it's from The Dark Knight.
Oh.
When
okay.
Alfred is telling Batman about Joker.
Oh.
And he's like, you pushed them to their breaking point. And in their moment of whatever, they too turn to a man they didn't fully understand.
Ra's al Ghul, yeah.
No, we're talking about the Joker. And
Okay,
that
fine.
so much feels like what happened to me. To some extent.
They pushed you to the Joker point?
No, that the Republicans had enough or wanted what they wanted at that point, and they went to someone who they didn't fully understand, who didn't know what to expect from,
Okay.
and thought he could deliver. And in a sense, he has. But now he's bringing everything down on their heads.
You know what it's like? It's like if if your leader
Yeah.
organized the big revolution, which is what they were calling it, these rioters, and then after getting caught, they just kicked all the people under the bus. But all 1,000 people under the bus.
Exactly. And here's the thing: when Trump lost, I thought to myself, and he started doing all the legal battles. I'm like, part of me is like, okay, this is good. He's gonna focus on the legal battles. It won't give him time to do what I think he would do, which is full scorched earth, make it impossible for Biden to do anything, or just make it difficult or cause him to have to undo a bunch of stuff.
He just went full reverse on that.
I know, and in his battle against the vote and trying to say that he won, he still went scorched earth anyway.
He just went scorched earth on himself.
Basically. Because I know, what is it?
You know they're issuing impeachment for him now?
Yes, the time of this recording, it is Monday, January 11th.
Yes.
Wednesday, they're supposed to be
What is the impeachment? Let's look it
initiating articles of impeachment.
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh!
Incitement of insurrection.
Republicans are supporting his impeachment.
Yes, they are.
Awesome.
Because why wouldn't you when people raid the Capitol building?
Oh man, and he supported it. Let's get a little bit of dead air and we look up the impeachment thing.
Because don't forget, in the rally just before the attack, I'm gonna call it an attack. Trump flat told them, we're gonna be unstoppable. We're gonna march down, and we're gonna give support. I'm not sure how breaking in is supported, but we're gonna give support to our congressmen. Not all of them, because not all of them deserve it. His whole spiel.
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't.
It
I'm at
says
such a loss for words,
the
and more
house.
than anything, it just aggravates the hell out of me. No, aggravate, infuriates me that this happened, that it was allowed to happen, that people wanted this to happen, and I'm not talking about the writers. I'm talking about the people, if any, that allowed this. Also, can we? I'm going to keep ranting for a moment. How are we okay with, even though the National Guard wasn't there, the limited ability to hold the building? One of the videos is the mob coming up the stairs, and there's a police guy who can't do anything. He has a baton, which is he's not hitting anyone with, or a nightstick, and he's slowly backing up the stairs. And I get it, he's scared,
the most
but I would think the Capitol building would have full on, like, metal gates come down and stop people.
the most leading tweet that Twitter had,
Yeah.
that I think showed up almost everywhere was, "Did they run out of rubber bullets?"
Yeah.
Question mark. That was the biggest tweet, and I was like, "Yeah, where's the rubber bullets, guys?" But
I don't understand how there's not like proper, like, full on lockdown procedure for the Capitol, where there's a point that no one can enter. Doors will come down, and that's it.
let me read this
Yeah, go
from
ahead.
CNN Politics.
All right.
It says the House of Democrats formally introduced their resolution today to impeach President Trump, charging him with incitement of insurrection
Yes.
for his role of last week's deadly U.S. Capitol attack. Which, by the way, like so many senators and like Trump, Pence was in there.
Yeah.
So, and did you? I don't know if you've seen the footage, but they basically had a what's it called when they do a gun-to-gun holdout.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So basically, both parties are holding gun to each other, and no one
A
shoots.
standoff.
A standoff. They basically had a standoff with the security inside the Senate room.
That's that shot of them all like barricading the door with guns
Yeah,
out. Yeah. Okay.
yeah. They had there's multiple congressional rooms. If you
Yeah,
don't know,
of course.
And this is a separate congressional room from the guy who took the photo with the feet up.
Yes.
So this is a separate room
Right.
where they were actually having a meeting,
yeah.
and they were having a proper standoff.
Right. I have in the past visited the Capitol
Uh-huh.
and was in the room where Congress meets. So
You were a lucky person because
Yeah.
now you can't do it anymore. All right, let's
Oh,
continue. The House.
I would hope that Biden issues like new security measures for the Capitol building, if that is something, or somebody does
iron
anywhere.
gates from under below to come up.
I don't understand. Like, I know, like, that seems extreme, but it's a Capitol
It's
building.
not that extreme.
That feels like it should be a thing.
I mean, they
Banks have that. How is that not?
have gates. They have giant gates on the White House. Why can't they?
I know.
do
Why is there
iron
not
gates?
like metal gates that come down? There should be a certain point you can't enter the Capitol building.
Don't they have
anymore.
like those? What are those things called? They come out on the road to stop people from going.
I don't know. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Not in this country, but
Yeah, other
especially in
countries have them, yeah.
Europe and France and Spain.
Yeah.
But they have these ground spikes that come up.
Basically.
But that's what we're suggesting is have an iron gate, iron wall that come up.
Yeah. Or just
Screw iron, just any strong
Yeah.
metal. That comes up so people don't just raid the Capitol. They just walked right in.
basically broke a window, got in.
They just jumped the gate and they were like, "All right, we're in now."
Yeah.
All right, let me continue with this.
Yeah.
The House plans to vote Wednesday to impeach Trump and will vote tomorrow evening on a resolution urging Vice President Mike Pence to invoke the 25th Amendment
Yes.
to revoke Trump's power. Which, if you want to know what 25th Amendment is, I'm just looking it up right now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So actually, so 25th Amendment is for when the president is no longer able to carry out the duties of office. Now,
okay.
technically, it was meant for when a president is ill or sick or so on. So there's questioning about what the precedent is for when the president is inciting insurrection.
Oh, let me read this out. In case the 25th Amendment is in case of the removal of the president from office or of his death or resignation, the vice president shall become president.
Yes. But again, it's not clear in this scenario if they can take him out.
It's only for like 11 days, though, right?
True.
Like Pence only
But
becomes.
that's 11. President can do a lot in 11 days, should he so choose.
I'm just saying, like Pence takes over for 11 days, but yeah.
Which, don't get me wrong, it's better than Trump, but I'd also Me myself, I'm a little aware of whatever Pence would do in 11 days.
By the way, if Pence did invoke 25th Amendment,
Yeah.
in future he can run his own campaign saying he was president for a certain amount of days.
Yes.
And he did good. I mean, I think, don't get me wrong, Pence is kind of to blame here too, but he's been kind of thrown under the bus a lot lately.
Yeah.
He had a lot of good ideas, and he tried to do a lot of good, but he was just blocked by the president or just wasn't allowed enough power to do much.
Yeah. I know with them calling Pence to enact the 25th Amendment they're giving him a 24-hour ultimatum.
Kind of feel bad for him.
Yeah. Should he not go through with the 25th Amendment, they plan on, like we said, going forward with articles of impeachment.
Which basically removes vice president and the president.
Right. Should it be voted on?
And forcing Biden and Kamala to be a presidency.
Right. Now, we know the last time president was impeached. He was impeached, which is separate from him actually being removed from office.
Yeah.
So would this count? So this counts as him being impeached twice.
The only president in history to be impeached twice.
Yes, and most likely because it is Trump, the only president in history to be impeached and removed from office. Because remember, the last president to be impeached resigned.
Yeah, that was Nixon.
Yes.
Yeah. Which was Amendment 25.
Yep.
And then the VP took over. Mm-hmm. So hey, it's amazing times.
Not to mention, with all of this, there's also concerns about any riots or protests that'll happen, or attacks, flat out, for the inauguration.
By the way, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a gunshot at the inauguration.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Right. With that, at some point, I'm not sure if it's still going on, I haven't heard much about it lately, there was a plan from some outside group, who's not really affiliated with Trump, to try to host their a secondary inauguration for Trump on the same day. I'm not kidding. They want him as president that badly. Because they've been deluded, convinced themselves, whatever it is, to believe that they didn't get the right vote, that something went wrong. You didn't get the votes. That's all. But you also have to understand, which a lot of other sides don't realize, is that leading up to the election, a lot of, not they're like a mainstream news so much, but a lot of right-wing news coverage places looked at maps for the voting, and to them, they saw that Trump was going to win. Not by a little, but by a lot. Mm-hmm. And to them, they were blown away that he lost.
That was super early, though.
It was, but it's still, you understand, for people that are in, a lot of people are in echo chambers. So they're constantly being told that, seeing that. You can't help but feel like, well, what happened? What happened to my guy, Mm-hmm. So.
Let's see how many votes Trump got.
Yes.
Like a full-on votes. I want to see the actual votes numbers and not just like a crappy one.
Of course.
So Biden won 306 to 232, which is quite a lot. Almost, 60 points above?
Yeah.
Jesus, no, 70 points. Christ.
Yeah. Oh, with that, check out an article. National Guard bolsters Washington, D.C. troop levels to at least 10,000. Mm-hmm. Added forces expected in place by weekend ahead of Biden inauguration as authorities prepare for Trump marches.
I think, so first of all, the main reason we won was Pennsylvania, California, and Wisconsin were the three states that were, for the longest time, they were, what are they called?
Red states?
No, they were just
swing states.
Swing states.
Yeah.
And then the Florida got involved, and then the Texas.
Yeah.
And Texas and Florida both got Republicans, and then Texas, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, then they got Democratic. But for the longest swing state, they were, I think Pennsylvania was Republican.
Pennsylvania, Georgia, and there was one other one. There were three main states that were all swing states.
There was, I think,
that were really the deciding factors for the winning.
I think they just butthurt that for the longest time Pennsylvania was a Republican state until more what's it called? Home votes? What are they called?
Mail-in ballots.
Mail-in ballots came in, and they changed the election
I
results.
would like to point out that in the early outrage of Trump's loss, it became apparent online that a lot of people don't understand how population density works or voting works, because people would look at a map of a state
Yeah.
that is almost entirely red with this little blue blip and be like, look at all this red. How did we lose? And people are like, well, they'll see where those blue blips are. Those are called cities. People live in cities.
Yeah. Like California has a massive density. There are
Yeah.
like millions of people live there.
Yeah.
It's a huge center. So,
Yeah.
and so is Nevada and Arizona. So I wasn't surprised when we won those. I was like,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
kind of winning.
Also, as a joke, someone pointed out, see all those cities that are blue? Notice how those are the only places you'd want to visit anyway?
Fair point. I mean,
Yeah.
I think the only cities I would want to visit on this map that are Republican is Texas and Florida. But that's it.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd consider, only one place I want to go to in Texas really is Austin, Texas,
Yeah.
which is long been considered this blue oasis in a sea of red.
I like how Maine is given like one red dot.
Yeah.
I think that's Rhode Island. No, Rhode Island is blue. I don't know. I didn't really get into election
Yeah.
till this year, mostly because I'm 21 now. Nick's showing me a meme right now. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Can I explain the meme?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so it's a meme with the photo of
Right.
like highly guarded
Right. So an actual photo of, at one point, the BLM protesters.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter. When the full on National Guard was there,
Yeah.
full military fatigue, guarding everything.
Yeah, next to
And then next to that is like Capitol Today, and the joke is basically just a picture of Paul Blart Malkov.
just running away. By the way, there was a cop who was announced hero this morning for directing the mob of people away from from the senators, basically the congressional hall where the Senate was, because I think they were on the bottom floor, and the police officer directed all of the rush of people on the top floor, which is where people got onto that crane, and they were like the washing crane,
Right.
and they basically propped up the flag of Trump 2020. I think this was a tough election. It was super close. It was very close because House of Representatives were 222 Democrats versus 212 Republicans, and
Yeah.
for Senate it was 47. Actually, it was 50-50. No, it was 47. It was 47 Democrats to 53 Republicans. So kind of Senate won the Republican vote versus House of Reps won the Democratic vote. It's interesting to look at all these data and polls. Like, if you look at the high density centers, like Arizona is 11, then Michigan was 16, Wisconsin was 10, Pennsylvania 20, and what's GA? State GA?
Georgia?
Georgia.
Isn't it?
Georgia was 16.
Yeah.
These are the states that were swing states, and there was swing states that voted for Democrats that kind of got Biden, like basically gave Biden victory. Jesus, can't talk.
I don't know why I decided to look at the map. It occurs to me there's no fence around this building like the White House has. It looks like pretty easy access.
It's not like iron fencing, but it's
No.
just like temporary fencing.
Well,
It's based. If you push the fence, it'll fall over. But like,
no, I'm talking about like in the general sense. I mean, don't get me wrong. You shouldn't want to be in a position where your Capitol building needs, protection from siege, but
I think when they designed the Capitol building, they didn't expect people to raid it.
yeah, I mean, true.
I mean, when you in any country, in any powerful country, when you design the Capitol, you design it as if everyone in the country supports your country, right?
True.
I mean, China's on a different hand because China just points a gun at people, but
So I think we can hope that going forward, security measures are increased.
oh please, feel like they should just learn, just not keep going. They should just learn from mistakes.
My question is, though, really, is anybody truly going to learn anything out of all of this? On both sides, government officials and citizens. Are we just going to learn stuff, or is it anything? Is it just shit we already know?
I think Democrats will.
Yeah,
I'm
possibly.
just dissing Republicans right now, but
I have to wonder because, like, I think a lot of Republicans might be realizing they've crossed a line, and I have to wonder if, at least for a little while, maybe
I feel
are
like
some of them going to kind of take a step back. I'm not saying like change their views 100%, but maybe not be so forward with things, at least for a little while. Possibly. I could be wrong.
hold up.
Yeah.
My mind's just going like it's had like a stupidity point
Okay.
where I was just like, what was the point when they realized they crossed the line? Was it the point when they were not
I think
wearing
the point they
masks
realized
at-
the person they've been supporting for the past 4 years
no.
just incited insurrection.
Hold on. Was it when they were not wearing masks and they started getting COVID at giant like parties that were going to the White House, or was it after
I don't
the
feel
raid?
like it was because I feel like we would have gotten some kind of statement from people. And we're only getting that now. I want you to understand. I want you to understand that only now, after the Capitol building, in a sense, their home has been broken into. After
Yeah.
violence has been shared there, are any
Yeah.
of them making a change?
Well, yeah.
Not the violence or the blood that was spilled for, say, Black Lives Matter protests or anything else. Only when it is in what I'm going to call their home, on their front door, in their own personal lives, do they even think to make a change.
I
Does
feel
it seem?
like if these are the people who are running the country, then I'm kind of ashamed of it a
For
little bit.
people that are meant to take care of us, that is selfish
Yeah.
and just messed up, fucked up.
Yeah.
I get that that's their response, that you do it when it applies to you,
Mm-hmm.
but as someone as people who are meant to take care of this country,
Mm-hmm.
they're not doing their job.
Yeah. Basically, yeah.
It should be more than a job. It should be a desire to do so if you're going to run, if you're going to be part of this government.
Well, this
of
is what
any
happens
government.
when these government officials are more driven by a position
Yeah.
that they want to get
Position,
rather
power,
than
so on.
a desire to do better for our country.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of sad truth, but I mean, I worked in CBS for a year and a half.
Yeah.
And eventually I quit. But when I started, I wanted to be a good employee.
Yeah.
And by midway through, I just wanted to be a manager. And I think that's what happens. I mean, after a while, you just get tired of your job and you just want a better position where you're better served. And I'm not saying this is crucially right, but that's just human nature.
I can understand that. I know right now with my new job, I'm actually on track
Yeah.
for a higher position. But I'll be honest, sometimes my job, it's either tiring or it's just like the same old stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, there's maybe four main aspects, but main three aspects that I enjoyed in my job.
Mm-hmm.
Number one is, compared to other places I've worked,
Mm-hmm.
it's a nicer environment. For
Yeah.
the most part, both the staff and the people tend to be nicer.
Mm-hmm.
The two is that with this job, I feel like I'm learning more about every aspect of it because you have to. That's the way our system is. And there's something to be said for that feeling when you can just rattle off. You know the answer to every question. The sense of, this is my space. I know it. I know everything is.
Yeah.
You know how to help people.
Yeah.
And sure, it may be mundane, like the day to day, but that feeling of, this is my domain, I know what to do, to say, there's a great feeling to that. And on a separate note, and I feel like other people feel this, and this has to do with coffee, nothing feels more empowering to me than walking into a store, like a place
Yeah.
or a store, that you like where you're running things, particularly if say you're opening a store, and you walk in with your morning coffee. I feel like there's a sense of confidence and power to that.
Yeah.
To me, and that may be small and very little, but I enjoy that.
There's beauty in that. you
Yeah.
know?
No.
Yeah.
It occurs to me on a different level that I'm only realizing now. As a film major, there's around a dozen different scenes of the guy that comes into work with the coffee, starts up the computer systems, and then it goes to, oh shit, there's a problem, grabs the phone, calls somebody, beginning of movie. And I'm starting to wonder if that has subconsciously been embedded in me, and that's why I like it.
I think it's just the simple things that make us happy more than
That is true.
like why if I was like assigned, like let's just say because I'm an engineer,
Yeah.
someday I'm working for Raytheon or something, and if someone just my manager comes and tells me, hey Drew, you're assigned to design like a really complex like a drone or something,
Yeah.
I would be more stressed out than if my manager told me, just do fill out this report and give it to me by the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know, because it's these little things that give you less stress, and it makes you feel serene at the end of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about this? This is a good point to take a break. We're gonna be right back. We're gonna roll our today's sponsor. Take a quick break. We'll be right back, and we'll see you in a bit.
All right.
See you in a bit.
All right.
See you in a bit.
All right.
See you in a bit. All right, we're back. We're back. We didn't actually take a break. We just kept rolling.
Don't tell them that. Let them believe the lie of editing.
It's too late now. I said it, so it doesn't really help.
Yes.
You know what I want to talk about?
I will once you tell me.
Okay. So I was watching. It was a while ago, but I was watching Coffee with Comedians. With Jerry Seinfeld.
All right.
Yeah, he does this show where he just and he did a show with Obama.
Okay.
You know, when he was president. And
Yes.
He went and had a coffee in the White House.
Yep.
It's wonderful. And one of the questions they asked is Seinfeld asked is,
Yep.
when you look at another leader in the world,
Yeah.
how do you know that they're still there? Like, do you really know that they're there, or can you tell that if this person's really gone from
How do you mean?
like so you know how we're talking right now?
Yeah.
We have our personalities.
Yeah.
But let's just say if we're told to run a country,
Yeah.
over time we would disappear because
Is the person you are outside of that still there?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
And they're completely consumed by the power they're given.
Right. Has that mask of being a leader taken over?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Because if you look at biggest dictators or rulers in the world,
Yeah.
over time they've just gone completely maniacal and crazy
True.
because
Very true.
the ideology of power just overrules their mind, and they just drives them to this complete state of insanity.
Right.
You're not meant to have all the power,
Of course.
which is why we have Senate and councils, because it's better to have 3 people decide something with you than you do it alone, because that if something goes wrong or while you wait for the results of that said thing,
Yep.
it's gonna drive you insane. That is the human nature. That's how we do it. Your mind continuously keeps going over and over about what the hell is going to be the outcome.
So what was Obama's response to this question, if you remember?
He said a lot of times when he met the other leaders, he could just really tell that guy is really gone. Like, he's not really there anymore.
Yeah.
And that question just makes me wonder, like, is Trump really there? Or because he doesn't just has just been president, but he's had to deal with the fame and the power and wealth for almost all his life.
Right.
And so I wonder at what point in his life he got lost to his own self, and now he's just a completely different person, driven by money and power, and just like, I mean, if you look at the news right now, you can see he's just delusional and going insane. Even he himself is saying the election's not over when the elections is over.
Yeah.
Believing into delusions of fraud and fakeness, even though
I think there's a level to which maybe him, the people around him, even early on when they were before he became president, just the general public, medical professionals, were aware, had an inkling, were somewhat aware, had the thought, This is a man who, and this is not to be offensive, genuinely, in some aspect, has a mental problem.
Yeah.
Is either diminishing or has something that has been either, what's the word for it, undiagnosed. It feels like something is not right.
Yeah. Because
Whether that's
he's in a complete meltdown right now.
Yeah.
Like, he's just losing it.
whether that's upbringing or genuinely just something wrong with his brain chemistry.
I was wondering this last night. I don't know for what reason. Hello. It's Nick's mom. She's behind us.
Yes.
You want to say hello to the podcast? They heard you. We'll say. We'll say she said hello. She said hello, everyone. But
All right.
this kept me up last night, and
Yeah.
I kind of fell asleep thinking about this. Is like, is he really even there? Like, are we really blaming Trump, or are we just blaming a money hungry or greed driven person?
That's a good question.
Like, when I work, at times I'm so focused and just lost
Yep.
that an autonomous side of myself just takes over,
I feel that.
and
That happened today.
then I just don't remember what I did for the last hour or so. But I've done a lot of work.
Yeah. I've had that, because my store, we go through like dozens of people at a time when we're busy. I've had people come back because they came up before. They said like, "Oh, let me go do a thing." They come back. I say hello as if they've never shown up before. Forget. Today that happened at work. I started berating somebody to a degree because I was so focused on just getting it done. I didn't take the 2 seconds to realize they're not a customer. They're delivering a package. And I didn't realize. It took me a moment to realize, oh wait, you're a delivery person, not a customer. Sorry.
Yeah, that used to happen to me when I used to work at CVS.
Yeah.
You know, we have a script to go through, usually for these these programs that people sign up for, like
Yeah.
they have these Care Plus program or whatever, and you have a script to read, and you usually memorize it. And at times when the UPS guy would come, or like someone from the manager's office could come check on us, I would just start saying the speech.
Right.
And I'm like, what am I doing?
Right. See, the issue I've run into is where I'll do my opening bid, but like, how can I help you, or like, what are you looking for? And then you realize I work at a UPS store, the franchise. People don't come in all the time. They're coming new to it. You realize they don't even understand the language you're using.
Yeah.
Are you doing a drop off? Are you have a ship out?
Yeah.
They don't understand that and have no idea what you just said. And they'll try to tell you, well, I have this. I'm like, okay, that's this thing. And in my head, I almost get annoyed that they don't know that, but it's not their fault. I go through this every day. To them, they've never understood this language.
Yeah.
But most companies tend to have code for things like that. Yeah. Was it one of the places I worked at for returns? If you ever hear, I'm not going to say the store, but if you ever hear the store over the loudspeaker say line 10s, they're talking about returns that have to be taken back to the sales floor because they don't want the idea to people that the store gets a lot of returns, and that's kind of their whole thing. So
this is something that
but I'm thinking
CVS did really oddly.
Okay.
And so when we got our returns, we didn't really have a box for it.
Yeah.
So when we usually get returns and stuff, we chuck it in this bin where a lot of these items get returned to the manufacturer, right? And they get sorted and then sent out.
Yeah.
But our manufacturing box was just right behind us.
Yeah.
So if a tall person or an employee would just kind of peek up, they could just see the returns box.
Yeah.
They wouldn't know, but they would just see a disorganized box full of junk.
Yeah.
And that kind of made me wonder when I was working there. I was like, I still remember that whole thought process when the store would be empty, and I'm like, how many people would come through this register and wonder what's in that box back there?
Yeah.
Because you would never really know. And that's my point. See, if your store kept all the returns in a trolley, like on a cart,
Right.
and they sent it back in front of everyone saying, can we have the cart back or something, how many people wonder if there were returns or they were actually like anything of
Right.
importance.
I think a lot of stores, it doesn't matter if they're mom and pops or full on, like major box stores, are, I haven't really thought of a better example, are a lot like the canvases on paintings. The front is this smooth, like fresh canvas paintings, right? Before, like fresh canvas. The front is smooth, cleared over, it's pulled nice and tight. It looks very uniform.
Yeah.
You flip it over, and you see the other side,
Yeah.
where it's off in different places, it's stapled down. It's functional. Obviously, most canvases tend to be cleaned up, but still, that initialness of the backing is just, it's a mess. It's the front that matters, and that's why a lot of stores are. What we show the customers looks good. The moment you look behind, it's a mess. It's functionally a mess usually,
But
or
it's still
just
a mess.
or just a mess that's not functional. But it's a mess for a lot of places. It's like I was told this by a family member, how you tell if a restaurant's a good restaurant. Go to the bathroom, check behind the toilet.
Okay.
If they're cleaning behind the toilet, it's a good restaurant.
Yeah, that's true.
If they're doing more than what you see, if they're actually cleaning back there, it's a good restaurant. If they're not doing that, don't bother. Obviously, there are good restaurants that still don't clean behind the bathroom or behind the toilet, but
Yeah.
that was the judge of it.
I mean, no one likes to clean the bathroom at a restaurant.
That is true. That's very true.
I mean, I was once given a task to clean, like, so I used to work at a pizzeria, and I was given a task to, I was just like a cashier,
yeah,
but sometimes they already have a cashier and you have a shift, so they make you do
course.
odd tasks. And I was usually I clean floors and
Yeah.
stuff, but this day they gave me to clean the
right.
walk-in, and I kid you not,
Yeah.
the disgustingness that went through my face because they have
Yeah.
meats and they
Right,
have,
yeah.
and it's just like
Yeah.
stinky, stained, and like it's just not good.
It never felt to me. My first job, I found out from somebody that a few months prior to me getting hired, the staff that came in to clean the bathrooms on a regular basis, which I think was like weekly or monthly, which still,
Yeah.
was let go. So it fell to associates. I never heard or remember anyone cleaning it, but I know that eventually that could have been a job for you to do.
Yeah.
Also, it became a title associate, which means that they can ask you to do any job. It doesn't matter. That's why we call you an associate. It's open enough to do anything.
Yeah.
Which, for a big box store, I kind of get and feels a little bad. Like, feels a little manipulative. Which is
That's
weird.
like a
'Cause
recruit at a
right.
military base.
Which is weird because in my current job, it's a small store.
Yeah.
But I don't mind that you're made to do you're able to do every job because there's actually a sense of like even the lowest person to the most senior person. It's everyone knows what to do, so everyone can help each other out. Even if I'm doing the main part, I can ask someone to go do something somewhat menial, and they're still going to do it because like we're all working to the same goal. Which I like. But in the bigger box store, it kind of felt like, well, I don't like this, which is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is misleading at some points, but yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about this? You run the podcast for a little bit. I'm gonna go use the bathroom quickly.
Oh,
and
shit.
I'm gonna give this up to you. You can make this complete dead air, but you're
All
running
right.
this.
It might just be dead air. We don't know yet.
That's fine. If it's a dead air, I'll cut it out. Everyone,
Okay.
All right,
Let's
I'll
see
see
what
you in a bit.
happens.
quickly.
Okay. All right. There he goes. He's walking away.
I had a lot of coffee.
Yes, you did. Yes. Yes, you did. Okay, so he's gone. Which, I don't know. Well, enough of him. Honestly, I'm not actually sure what to talk about. So we are going to go through photos on my phone, and I will tell you if anything of interest. Now, we can start with this quote from Ernest Hemingway. In my free time, I do poetry, and I used to do short stories, but time escapes me. But a good way to write. Write hard and clear about what hurts. And I'm sure that's easier said than done. I know there's a lot of traumatic shit in life that it's hard to even think about, much less actually get down on paper. So, you know what? I think I'm just going to have him make this dead air and be done with it. Because honestly, it is easier to talk with two of us. Okay, he's returning, so we had about 20 seconds of dead air, and I briefly talked about a quote from my phone, and that's about it. Okay, I apologize for the severe lacking in which our podcast severely lacking in commentary for that
20
half a
seconds?
minute or
Half
so?
a minute, whatever.
Yes,
It's fine. I had to really go. I was just holding it for a while.
understood. Going forward, we'll do the podcast sitting on mobile toilets.
That's actually disgusting. What? No, I'll just bring a catheter. It's all good.
Even better.
You know, there was I saw this thing on Amazon, which was like something these truckers use.
Yep.
It's just like a pipe with a nozzle. It's like a cup on at the end of it, and
Yeah.
the truckers use just pee in. And there's like what's it called? A little lift tank in the bottom.
Okay.
So they just have that all the at the base of the truck, and if they have to go on a long journey, they just lift the nozzle, pee in it,
Okay.
and they can hold up to 2 peas worth. I was like,
But that depends on how much one pea is worth.
I mean, it works if you were someone like me because I have I'm gaining weight because I'm just sitting at home and doing nothing.
Yes.
Basically last 2 weeks were just me preparing for my classes.
Yeah.
And then when winter courses began, so my crap got a little too busy, and
Yeah.
now I just don't have time to get up and do active.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm losing weight. My job has me moving constantly, which is wonderful.
That's good.
Yeah.
What I'm doing is not good.
Yeah. Well, maybe you should try to walk more.
I need to.
I know it's cold outside and shit, but still.
I need to do HIIT workout.
Do what?
So HIIT is like this high energy intensity workout.
Okay.
And it's supposed to really like burn your calories.
Okay.
And my mom's been constantly telling me, and I told my mom today, I'm like, you have no right to tell me to like tell me that I'm fat, because you're half the reason I'm fat. You just feed me constantly oily foods and fatty foods, and now I'm gaining weight.
Okay.
Like, I went on keto diet, right? Which means I eat separate food from what she really makes every day. And that means I have to kind of prepare in the kitchen while she's preparing lunch and dinner.
Yeah.
And she really gets like annoyed with me in the kitchen, or if I eat late.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't eat the food that you make because it's gonna make me more fat.
Right. You understand that most diets tend not to work unless you consistently keep them up, constantly.
Yeah, like
Afterwards, they start to fail.
yeah. I mean, I've been doing
Once
it
you
for
stop.
what?
Once you stop, they tend to stop working.
Exactly. But I want
And
to.
then it's just going to go back to the same way, unless you're planning on keeping this up. So you have to find a better mix of just actually sometimes having better foods, easing off other stuff, and not actually going full diet while actually getting exercise in.
I'm saying for now,
Yeah.
I want to keep it up for like a couple
Okay.
months. Once I lose all this weight, I can try to be more active.
Sure.
Once I have a job or whatnot, and I can start
Yep.
paying for a gym.
Of course.
I
Start paying
can-
for this podcast.
Yeah, I can. When we start paying for this pod, I just need to get equipment.
That's what I'm saying. We need equipment.
Yeah, we do.
Not that right now. This does work. Honestly,
this is a
I don't
okay
hate
setup.
this. I'd be okay with this. I wouldn't mind if we started recording ourselves, but
It could be way worse. I've
True.
been listening to a lot low end podcasts lately,
yeah,
and a lot of people just record using their phones, like phone audio.
yeah,
So what we have going on right now is a lot better than a lot of people.
true.
So I'm not
Would we
complaining.
want going forward? Would we want full mics, or what if we just did like lav mics?
Those are more expensive than
I know, but I'm asking still.
eventually.
Okay,
Like
because that
way
might
in the
be
future.
easier than might be in some cases better than the full mic setup.
How about we don't play this on air?
True.
Oh God, where were we? I have no clue what we were talking about.
You were talking about your diet.
Oh, the keto diet. I mean, a lot of people told me to try like a 30-day diet, which is like
Sure.
it's it's something you have to read a lot of labels for, because you have to keep in calorie check. Like you can't have
course.
more than this amount of calories of this thing and this amount of calories of this.
Yeah.
It's just too exhausting. You know,
Yeah.
women can probably do that because they have more energy and they're just smarter. I'm a man. I'm
Okay.
not.
No, I think you are just lazy.
No.
Yes.
Men are lazy.
No, you are lazy.
Men are lazy.
I've met lazy women. You're lazy.
Damn, you're gonna sold
I
me
know.
out.
Seriously, college. There's this girl who's literally like, I want chicken. I'm like, okay, let's go get some food. She's like, but I don't want to get up. It's like, okay, then,
That's
so what? Just constantly was like, I want food. She's like, well, I don't want to go up though. I'm like, what are you gonna like? Seriously, or it was just simple as I don't want to put on shoes. It's like,
well. Then walk bare
woman,
feet.
get your skinny ass off the bed and come on. It's not that far. Just go get some fucking food.
Oh man. No, I get that. I am lazy. I'm not gonna die. I'm not lazy.
Oh, I know you are.
I am very lazy.
Yes.
I just need that energy to get act. I don't know what's been going on lately. I had like 9 hours of sleep and I still feel tired. I have no
Sometimes
clue
when
why.
you oversleep, you'll still feel tired.
Like I did so I for the first week of
Yeah.
this year, like from the 4th to whatever 10th, I started waking up like super early.
Yeah.
Right, because like 7 a.m. 12 to 7, routine.
Right.
Still felt tired. I was like, what is going on? I have no clue why I'm feeling so tired all the time.
Yeah.
Just drowsy, like don't have energy to do anything. I don't know why.
Interesting.
I don't know. I'll figure it out. I think I'm just accustomed to a much more lazy life, and I think my body's not used to having so much weight.
Yeah.
But I think that's just an excuse, and I can do a lot more.
Yeah.
This quarantine hasn't been helping that much anyway. Just getting more homesick.
Yeah. Homesick. Mm-hmm. What do you mean homesick?
Like, you basically every time you go out, you just miss home,
Oh, okay.
and you prefer being at
That's
home than
odd.
going out.
No.
I mean, you're not homesick. You
But
actually
I
do work.
miss being able to go out more and actually stay at places. You know what I mean?
You're an outdoorsy person. I'm an introvert.
Yeah.
It's a little different.
Because you know our coffee shop, True North, right?
Yeah.
The day COVID's over, when COVID, like when places start opening up more, like because they're open, but like no, you can't really sit there. When COVID's over, I'm grabbing my laptop. I'll probably have taken some photos of that by that point or something. I'm going there. I'm on my days off early in the morning, and I will probably stay there till close. I have missed it so much. I just show up and I just spend the day writing. Best day to go, like I find, is Sundays early in the morning because you have all the church people who just aren't there for the first few hours. I'm not kidding.
I mean,
COVID's messing with my plan because even at work, I have what I refer to as the church schedule for Sundays. Because when you work in retail, usually you can count on the mornings being quiet to a degree because people are at church. There's a little bit of a rush, and then like noon to like 1:30ish, more or less, you can count on people doing like brunch or that family meal or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think I'm just lazy. Like,
I know that. I've known you long enough.
no, like so one thing I do wrong, which I
Yeah.
think people should learn from, is I game a lot. So for like the past December, I've been gaming a lot because I have nothing to do.
Yeah.
And once the classes start, I need to really update my sitting position because a lot of people like sit straight or like at least with a little
Really
back.
slouch.
I am like really slouching. I do this
Yeah.
or I sit like this where my belly's kind of pointed out and I'm just like really just hurt my back and I need to start sitting
Yeah.
up straight or at least a little slouched
For gaming or in general?
in general.
Yeah. See,
Even on the couch.
follow one of the stereotypes of bisexuals where we can't sit in a chair properly. So usually I have either one leg under me, I throw a leg over the side of the, over the armrest. A few years ago, I realized I have to have pillows behind me when I game because I can't lean back.
Yeah,
Well, I
that
don't like
hurts.
leaning back because I don't play well. I have to be focused, lean forward. And I would try myself getting up and my back would be in so much pain. So I need something to push it back into place all the time. So,
Jeez.
yeah.
Oh, I feel.
No, but
feel-
that's one of those things when you sleep too. You ever like finally have a good day's sleep and you're like, yes, full 8 hours, I slept well, and your back and or neck are like, yeah, but now we're in pain, so fuck you.
I think I need to get into a better sleep schedule, my dude.
You?
Yeah.
Mine's pretty good because I usually have work in the morning consistently, so
See, that's your driving focus.
it is.
Mine is like,
Though I still struggle to get up early because I still get around 6:30, and it's been a long time since I had to get up that early.
mine is like asynchronous work.
Yes.
So for people who don't know what asynchronous is, which means that I'm given the files I'm given, and I can do it whenever.
Yeah.
So I just have to plan it out when I want to do it.
Right.
And that gives me kind of a lot more freedom to just do it whenever.
Right. Or not do it.
No, I have to do
Okay,
it
yeah.
because it is mandatory,
Yeah.
or I'll fail the class.
Right. But it's all online work.
Yeah, it's all online work, so I don't really walk or do
Yeah.
anything. So it's put me in the position where I just wake up, grab something to eat, and then I just slouch on my chair and I just sit looking at the computer for hours, mostly all day.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah. No, it's not. I find, and again, I know COVID being in your house, and it's kind of separate. When I had to do online coursework, I always struggled to do it actually in like my dorm room or like in a
Yeah.
bedroom. I feel like even though it's like, on your own time at homework, it's
painful.
always easier to do it in a different location. Like even if it means just like moving to the kitchen, or if in college like going to the library to do it,
Yeah.
or like just in a different room, because being in that same setting makes you want to not do it or like focus on the stuff.
You can't do work in the same space you relax in.
Yeah, exactly.
Because your mindset is used to relaxing in that mindset,
Yeah.
Space.
Yeah.
So if I was like, let's just say in the future when we get an office to do this,
Yeah.
I'll be more energetic to do this podcast.
Right.
Like when we used to go out to school, when
Yeah.
we used to do the show, I was a lot more energetic and up for driving and
Right.
doing stuff because that's a place where I record podcasts. And
Right. Well, how do you feel here? This is my dining room table.
I think this is fine. I think I'm just a little more relaxed.
I know this is for me because this is where I do my homework.
Yeah.
The table we used downstairs was the old kitchen table for me. So I would do my homework on that table for years. So I feel like that's where you do it. But yeah, there's definitely sense to that. I know for me, for like doing work, I need some kind of sound in the background. So when I started in college for that, and I needed it more, I realized, all right, I'll listen to songs I don't know, which I picked up from, remember that relaxation course we did in high
Yeah.
school? And then I realized, well, occasionally, I'm still listening to the lyrics, and occasionally I'll come up to a song I know, and then I get distracted. Because
Yeah.
whatever I've associated with that. So I found a good fix. When I started doing my homework, I would listen to songs in a different language. Specifically, I started doing my homework while listening to French love songs.
I love French love songs, by the way.
Yes.
Like
Because
the
it was
one
something
from-
kind of soothing, but also I don't understand it, so it's not distracting me in that way.
The one from Ratatouille. I'm going to quickly play it right here. Play it. Okay, good. There it is. I'm just going to put that in
All right.
afterwards.
Yeah.
It's so hard to do this.
Yeah.
We can use Audition on there
Of course.
if if it works.
All right.
But the way I use it is terrible to edit like songs, but it's in there.
Okay.
The Ratatouille song.
Yes.
And that song I listen to just sometimes I want to relax. But here, so I looked up how to get serious in life.
Yes.
So let's look at let's read it out.
Okay.
It's for me. It's mainly for me than most
Oh.
for people.
I could tell you how to get serious in life.
Okay,
You need one to take one hand.
I
Wait,
think
okay.
you'll be ashamed
Okay.
of being my friend when I tell you how I
Okay.
live a little bit. But
Okay.
I'm a super lazy person who likes,
know.
and I stick to my iPad a lot. So I usually
Yes.
binge watch shows or YouTube, and that's
My iPad is broken, so I don't have that problem.
so
I
that's
do my phone.
all I do, and I have two iPads. So it doesn't really help. I have my work iPad, which there's no entertainment on there.
Okay. And the
and-
other one.
No, it's not that. It's not pleasure iPad. It's just my like go-to like media iPad. Like it has
Okay.
all my streaming stuff. This
Yeah.
has Hulu, Showtime, Disney Plus, Gaia. It has all sorts of that. And I'm binging stuff. Like I have so much to watch that I never put it down.
My issue with binging stuff is there's stuff I want to start binging. I
Yeah.
struggle with actually starting it, and I keep going back to rewatching stuff I've already watched.
Okay, here it is.
Okay.
Step 1: arrive early. Doesn't really affect me, but
I
that's
do
a good
that.
fact.
I can't help it.
I started doing that.
Yeah.
Be confident. Very bland.
That's difficult. That can be difficult.
It says, while some people may actually be confident, some of us have to work at it. The exhibition of confidence is going to be your greatest asset in your quest to be taken seriously. I don't want to be taken seriously. I just want to be serious at life. I don't think this is
Yeah. I will
doing me
say I have a
much.
lot more confidence in my job this time around, especially like being on the phone with customers because I hate being on the phone with people usually, and this time around I'm a lot better at it, so that's good.
This I strongly agree with.
What is it?
Stay quiet until you have something good to say. So well said.
So my life policy.
That is a good life
Okay.
policy.
So just what is it? There's the line. There's a reason our eyes close. Or sorry, there's a reason our mouths close, but our ears do not.
Yeah.
Listen. Speak useful words or be silent. And my general policy. And someone actually said this to me, and it's like, and I'm not trying to brag. This is the thing that happened. I was working in a group in college, and one of the kids was like, "Nick, why do you always come off so smart?" I'm like, and what I said, and this is a genuine thing. I only speak about what I know. So if I know something for sure, I'll always speak in authority to it. If I don't know, I'll reference that I'm pretty sure and assured. And when I don't know something, I'm gonna tell you. And when someone else knows it, I'm gonna listen. You speak about what you know, and you don't speak about what you don't know.
Yeah. That's just a
And
good
listen to people that know stuff you don't. That's really it.
life policy one.
Yeah.
Jeez. Next one is prepare more than you think you need.
Yeah. That's important.
I debate that.
I plan more than I need,
It's
usually with the timing of showing up early to places.
okay. That whether it is a job interview. Okay, so it is talking about the job interview sets. Okay, then that's fine.
Okay.
I thought in like so I am a dupe. You know, well know now that
Yep.
I'm a doomsday prepper. I love to prep.
To an extent, I know this.
I,
Yes.
I have a Go backpack setup, which has food, it has canned food, MREs, has basic everyday survival. It has snare kits, a Bushmaster knife with fireproof matches. There's so much shit in there. Like
Okay.
it has aloe gel, it has sunscreen, binoculars,
A lot.
a lot. Like it's a heavy pack,
Yeah.
right? It's a huge. I think I tore it recently by just doing something.
I
But
know for a while now I've been meaning to make myself a go pack, but yeah.
but I have a Go pack, and when it says prepare more than you think you need, that's where my mind goes to, and it's actually got me in financial trouble because I usually the first thing my mind go to when I get money in my bank is what do I need for my survival pack?
Yeah.
Because I always think like any day now shit's gonna go down. It's all happening right now. Hell's breaking loose. Zombie apocalypse. Burning buildings. Anarchy's happening. What do?
Yeah.
You go get your Go pack. Get the hell out of there.
Yeah. Because I think on some level you should also be getting to the point of also you should something that should be going to your go bag is just cash
Yeah. But
as a thing.
I think so. Here's what I disagree is because in the after apocalypse has occurred.
I'm not talking about to that level.
Oh, just like
Also, again, I'm not fully on board with like all that, but the usual idea that when things are starting to break down, the early stages of thing breaking down is a series of people who think things are going to get better, and those are said people that can be bribed early on.
I prefer gold or
whatever.
silver. Don't keep cash is a very
I'm not taking this to the extent that you are.
I do. there, I can neither confirm or deny that there might be a little baggie with a little bit of gold and silver in there, with
Okay.
its own compartments. It's not much, but I'd have a little bit.
I'm going as far as change of clothes, potentially a suit, money, passport, stuff to leave, not the stuff to bug out to, like full on survivalist show. I'm talking about.
Talking about full survival shit over
Yeah.
here. Like screw military camp out. I'm going in the woods
Okay.
and live in the wolves. You know.
Good luck. I'm
fine.
sure I'll find you at the town reservoir.
Yeah, that's the only woods I know.
And probably on the island, too.
What? Oh yeah. Just swim to the island.
Yes. Well, depending on the time of year.
I don't think they lose enough water to go there in the summer these days. It's still like
No,
pretty.
this year there was enough
Oh yeah.
to the end.
We should have gone.
So those who don't know, there's a town reservoir nearby with there's this seasonal island, I guess we'll call it, where most of the year it's an island.
There's an island in there.
And then during certain times, the water level drops to the point
Like-
you can walk across.
Water's usually pretty high,
Yeah,
but
it is.
but if you really want to go there, you can just swim it. Like,
Oh, yeah, it's
or
not
you can
that-
just even jump it. Like 2
Yeah.
jumps and you're there.
Yeah.
But
It's what, not even the length of the house? Going this way?
it's from here to that chair.
Basically.
Yeah. Like, so it's like, I would say
Yeah.
5 meters, 6 meters.
Just gotta watch for snapping turtles.
I don't care about snapping turtles. I beat them with my hands before.
Wait, beat him with your what?
My hands.
Oh, I don't know. I thought you said head.
I used to work in a science center, so they used to bite my hand.
Oh,
And
nice.
the best way to do is just snap their nose, and they would let go.
Yeah.
And people who say that's animal abuse, it's not. The guy's like, if a snapping turtle's got your hand bit, he'll
Yeah.
probably rip your skin off. So it's good
Oh, yeah.
defense. Like, shut the hell up.
You ever work with any of the alligator snapping turtles?
What?
Alligator snapping turtles?
Yeah,
The really aggressive ones?
Yeah.
Those are fun.
But they're small. I used to work with them
Oh,
small,
yeah.
so if you bite, I'll just pull them apart.
Yeah.
They're fine. But usually the big ones they used to release, like they would just come back and bite you.
Yeah.
They used to suck.
Yeah.
All right. Next one is read the news.
You should.
I guess.
I'm not great about, even though I seem to be like the political person on the show, I am not as great about the news as I used to be.
Okay.
Because back in college, like I was much better about getting up early, having breakfast, and sitting down to watch the news. Mm-hmm. The news, late shows, like Seth Meyers' Closer Look. Go through my news feed and actually keep track of shit.
Yeah.
Nowadays, a little bit, but not to that level.
Yeah.
And I do need to be more proactive in that.
Yeah.
Also, I would add to that, look at news from other countries.
Yeah, not just your own
International.
country.
Also, look at the news about your country from other countries.
How would you do that?
Go on YouTube and look up, like, BBC News and then look for something about us.
Oh, so go to their website
Yeah.
and see what they've said about US.
Basically, I actually watched an article. One of the guys actually broke down what was happening at the Capitol building
That's
for the
nice.
riot. Yeah.
I should do that about stock market, but
There was something surprisingly pleasant about hearing a British person with the accent just narrate the attack on our capital.
it's like watching a football game, and I'll do really shitty. I don't know if I can do it, but it
Commentary? What?
yeah, but it's like watching. It's like you can see right now, everybody, that there's a man breaking into. Oh, but they're broken in. They're broken in. There's a man with a gun breaking a window. It's like watching animals in the zoo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like Jesus. I mean, if you go look back at the raid, a lot of
Yeah.
people just got angry and broke people's cameras.
Yeah.
That would have sucked for a news company to have their camera broken.
As someone who has a camera, has worked with cameras, and has looked at what it would take to buy better camera and lenses, that's the worst thing.
But these are not just like
Oh yeah, I know.
couple $1,000
Thousands
camera.
and, like,
These are $100,000
Tens of
cameras.
thousands,
Yeah, like the
$100,000
lenses and then the covers.
oh yeah.
Like it's expensive.
Like for certain cameras, the body alone, that's not the lens, just the body, can cost you thousands.
Well over $100,000.
It's usually the lenses that run more.
Yeah. Lenses are way more expensive.
Yeah. Because I know, what is it?
Like if you get like let's just say a low end camera
Yeah.
from Sony or whatever, the lens of that camera alone is going to cost $200, $300 than the alone from the body itself.
Oh yeah.
It's the way it is. I mean, what are you going to do?
Very true.
But expensive lenses means better quality.
That's true. Some of the lenses I've looked at for myself, like up the proper sets, usually the best lenses are made entirely out of metal. Go for a couple grand a piece. I know one I have my eye on for the future, which would take me quite a while to save for, goes for $1,500.
Jesus Christ. Oh
And
my
that's
God.
that's only for like a very specific
That's the
type
price of my
photography.
computer that I'm building.
I know.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God. Well, I
Yeah.
guess if it's like,
Although one of the ones I'm about looking at getting us for the podcast, we're looking at around, I think, like 300.
for the cameras?
No, a particular lens that's specified for film.
Oh. we don't
It's
need
not necessarily
that much.
needed. It is something I'm looking to get myself
Dude,
anyway,
we're
though.
two guys sitting in a chair. Like, we don't need that much.
And the picture
camera work.
quality of two guys sitting in a chair will be perfect.
We need to do more vlogs. You know,
What?
like active vlogging,
Sure.
because I want to do stuff with you. Like, so the
Okay.
one of the vlogs I wanted to make is you don't share the enthusiasm for beans that I do, and so
Sure.
I wanted to bring you into my worlds of beans,
Wait, beans?
like beans, like eating beans.
Oh, I thought you said bees.
No, no, beans.
Beans. Okay.
Like I have, so
Like coffee beans.
no,
Lima beans?
like actual beans, like pinto beans. You know,
Yes, I sounds okay.
the
So
edible beans. Yeah. Um,
So let's make some chili.
no, we're gonna make something good.
What?
I call it Drew's bean mix, and it's usually pretty nice. It's got paprika, it's got a little bit of onions, a good chopped onions.
It better be because I'm not usually overly fond of beans.
It's good. Trust me, it's good.
Okay.
Usually you need a pressure cooker, but we can make do on a stove.
Right.
Just we just need to wet the beans for a certain amount of time. Anywho,
Moving aside.
let's quickly just finish this article, and then we're gonna call it because it has been almost 2 hours for this podcast.
Whoa. So long. Well, I think it's probably our longest yet. Or the
Yeah,
longest, I should say.
yeah, we've done 215.
Have we?
Yeah, we've done 215
Oh,
before.
damn.
Just editing is gonna make it smaller, but
Yeah.
remain humble. I don't know how you do that, but
Well, that's not on the cards for you.
well, you saying I'm not humble? I'm usually pretty humble.
Sure, I guess.
I'm like some narcissistic,
Yeah.
but I'm not that like.
No, you're not. Not
Narcissist.
really.
I usually down talk myself before I'll just be like, I think I'm good at it.
Yeah.
But if I'm really good at something, I'll speak up.
True.
Because why wouldn't you? I mean, if you're good at something, just say you're
Yeah.
good at it.
Although I find the best way is very similar to film is show don't tell.
It says in the remain humble section, it says stay quiet, but don't avoid small talk and conversation with your coworkers. So he's basically telling you to not socialize with your work coworkers unless it's small talk.
Is anybody else just infuriated by small talk? Like it is the most boring shit.
Why would you
And
make
you-
small talk? It's just
And
saying
you
like
just want
hello.
to get to the interesting shit.
Yeah.
You just want to have actual conversations with people.
I just
People are like, hey, how's the weather? It's like, no, I don't care about that.
why would you want to establish a proper relationship with your like coworker? Like when I had coworkers
not
in
the
the
worst
past,
thing to, like-
they usually ended up being my friends.
Yeah,
Like that's a good coworker relationship.
yeah. I think it's always better to be friendly with your coworkers, or at least some of them.
Instead of making small
I
talk.
work in a small store. I need to be friendly with them.
Yeah.
And I am, but still.
What am I, a robot over here working in super quietness? Hey Jerry, how was your day? It's like what?
Yeah.
That is basically what this article is asking me to do.
I thought you said this was. What was the point of this article supposed to be for?
I closed it, but it
Of
was.
course you did.
I'll open it back up. It's the ways to be serious in life.
In life or at work? Sounded very
just
work
serious.
oriented.
It's just serious in life.
I don't think
7
serious is-
habits that make people take you
seriously.
seriously.
Okay, that's very different than the way you were telling me.
I clearly wanted to go the route that you were thinking of, but it landed me here.
To take you seriously, it's supposed to like being serious.
Yeah,
That's something I feel like that's really something you are or you aren't. That takes a lot of
that's
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 just
what
how
I
you
wrote.
become based on what's in the world.
That here, this is what I wrote. How to get serious in life, and then that's what I came up with.
I love how the next thing is how to get away with murder. I know it's the TV show, but still,
How many Jedi's are there? It's usually how many questions
how to get serious, how to.
about life, or suppose in life, or a lot of like
Okay.
this is what it showed up with. Arrive early, become. It was that, but then it just.
I mean, there's some good stuff in there, but
Yeah.
not necessarily for what you asked it.
No, I just need to make changes in my
Yeah.
life.
I find that's interesting about like Google. Sometimes it's like an exact 10, otherwise it's a complete miss.
Just goes to the super tangent.
Oh yeah,
We didn't cover the vaccine section. Oh crap! But
that's
whatever.
okay because you know what? It seems like we're not getting to a solution anytime soon. So
Yeah,
it'll still be here to talk about next time.
it's fun. We'll be back Thursday, everybody.
Yes, we will.
We'll be back Thursday. All right, let's wrap it up. Thank you everyone for joining. Hope you liked the podcast. It was a lot of rant and a lot of anger and frustration about
Yes, it was.
political stuff, and then we talked a little bit about random shit.
As we do.
As we do. We'll be back Thursday. I think there's like some coffee left, but I really don't want to touch it. I have this much. I'll chug it. I'll chug it.
Go ahead.
All right. As
All
we
right.
do with every end of the podcast, we just take a sip. Nick has none left, as always. But we just can we just next.
Yes.
We need to I'm gonna get a kettle, like a proper
We
a
have a
pot,
kettle.
like a pot
Okay.
or like a jar, and we're just gonna store a lot of coffee in there. And when you run out, just fill it up.
That's a good idea. Second point. Maybe next episode we do tea because I recently have a new tea set.
I have an infuser, a
Perfect.
tea infuser. We can get that.
There's one built into that actually.
Oh, then we don't
I
need
also have a press too.
I'll send you a photo of what I have, and then we'll see if it fits in that.
Okay.
I'll take a look before I go. But
Sounds good.
but all right, let's take a sip. If you had got a beverage with me, Nick's just gonna pretend. But if you got a beverage out there with me, let's take a sip. Final one.
For the record, my ability to pretend I'm drinking is great because I have this habit of long after I finish a drink to keep sipping out of the glass or mug,
Why?
whatever. As if I do, to the point at one point when I was having coffee with somebody, they assumed I was still having my drink a full 40 minutes after I had finished it.
Jesus Christ! What were you doing? Just sipping it?
Yes.
Why?
Another scenario was there was actually a glass of water that was finished. Like I'm
Yeah.
doing that. I was at a group setting, whatever. And one of the girls, like, full on stops the conversation, grabs the pitcher on the table, is like, fill up your damn glass already. I've been,
God.
like, sipping at this empty glass for three
Why do
three
you need
times
to
now.
do that? You need to actually fill it up with something because that's gonna annoy
I
the
don't
crap
know
out
what
of me.
it is.
Actually, it doesn't bug me that much, but I mean, you don't do it too often. You didn't do much.
I
during
do
this
it quite a
podcast.
bit, actually.
You
Yeah,
didn't do it for the podcast because you're talking.
that's because it feels
constantly.
weird about having the mic right here. And I'm talking a lot.
Yeah, I had to move my mic a lot of time, like multiple times, because I thought I was gonna hit it with my cup,
Yeah,
or I was thinking to the side.
true.
But all right, anyway, we're gonna wrap this up. Thank you everybody for listening. Hopefully, I'm gonna put this up on the YouTube so we can actually start putting up YouTube podcast. And hopefully, I don't get DMCA from the Ratatouille song.
Yes.
All right, thank you for listening, everybody. We'll see you guys Thursday. I hope you guys have a good rest of the week until Thursday, and bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.